I walked into their room. I saw on the other side of their bed a huge humanoid shape that looked like it was made of TV static from a TV.
I don't like that.
Except the white was purple, and kind of like when you rub your eyes through your eyelids. I immediately just laid down and went to sleep right there and woke up there in the morning. I don't think I ever told anyone about it until years later. I was 3 or 4. So it's possible my imagination just went nuts,
there he is.
but it always stuck with me.
Baby,
so yeah, that's one of the experiences. So I decided to search up TV static entities,
putting yourself at risk of TV static man attack.
Information. These are some more Reddit posts of people's experience with these beings. One guy says, has anyone ever encountered beings made of TV static? So I'm preparing for a talk soon on these beings. I've started calling them the static people. They are essentially just beings made up of what looks like TV static.
Oh yeah.
When I started
Baby, we hit 100 subscribers on YouTube today.
this, I had only met a couple of people who had seen them, but as I have reached out onto other forums, I'm surprised at how many other people have seen them.
I shot
Truthfully,
a sappy.
This is one of the most staggering things I've encountered since I came into the paranormal world.
I shot like a sappy video about it.
But so little conversations about them.
It was very cute.
I'd love to know if anyone else has, or any thoughts people would have on what they are.
How much
and then this person gets some interesting replies. One guy says, roughly 20 years ago, I was sleeping in my parents' basement. I got up to go use the bathroom and almost walked into a static person. It was standing there right beside the door at the bathroom. Didn't have a single light on in the basement. It was in full shape of a person standing around 6 feet tall. It was literally just all TV static. My parents live in an area where there was a couple major battles during the War of 1812. The apparition is not the only one that has been seen in their house. Another guy says, I had an encounter with one. I'll call him Static Man. So basically, I'm young, about 10. I think I'm alone in that house. It's like midnight. I go to walk down the stairs, and he's in the room next to me. I sprint down the stairs, but my sweatshirt pocket gets caught. I have this feeling of doom. I get my sweatshirt free of the stair railing. Look back, he's gone. I'm down the stairs in 1 second, hiding in my couch cushion fort. Never told anyone except for when I asked a few of my friends, and they said they had encountered the Static Man too. One guy says saw them during a sleep.
Oh, that makes me extremely uneasy. I do not like these stories at all. This is not good.
Paralysis episode. Thought I was the only one. Another person comments and says, I'm so thankful for this sub because I feel so validated in what I've experienced over the years. I've seen a static person and also 2 static orbs.
Oh, I
the
don't
person
like that
being
either.
a solid apparition and dissolved into static before disappearing completely.
I don't like that picture.
All while walking towards me and saying my name, which was super fun and not paralyzing, traumatic in any way. Just kidding. Blessed the heck out of the house right afterwards, and Ghosty went bye-bye. And this is the final comment I'm going to read. And this person actually brings up another interesting point. And they actually ask a question in the beginning. And they say, when encountering the static people, can you guys hear the static as well? My husband has a couple of weird encounters at night. He wears an eye mask to sleep in with Bluetooth speakers built in. He likes to listen to paranormal podcasts as he's falling asleep, and sets a timer on the podcast so it automatically turns off after X amount of time. He says he woke up one time with the feeling like somebody was nearby. As the somebody made its way over to the side of his bed, he could hear a white noise like static getting louder. The closer the intruder got, the intruder stood by the bed for about 5 minutes, then left, the static noise leaving with them. This happened one other time as well. The other time he said it felt like the intruder was about 2 inches from his face. He never actually saw what the intruder looked like, but he could remember the static noise. Is this the same creature? So again, all these accounts are very fascinating and interesting. Who is the Static Man? Kind of makes you wonder what televisions actually are.
See, I don't like,
or what
I don't
TV
get
static is.
fucking scared of like Slender Man or whatever.
The origins
but
of
anything that looks like a gray alien, I don't like it.
Talked about the similarities of mythological stories of magic mirrors and what we call televisions today. I mean, think of the names we give the TV, or the names that are associated with the TV. We call it a television or tell-a-vision. And
oh
what
my
are we doing
god, don't fucking start doing that.
Information. Broadcast. Cast spells. Through channels, right? Just like me.
Guys, I'm broadcasting at you. I'm channeling at you. Stop.
Mediums have channels to channel spirits. So television, broadcast, channels.
This is the same logic used by the quantum grammar sovereign citizens.
So maybe TV static is actually showing you another world. Or maybe not. So in my Zigzag Dimension video, I mentioned a few movies and music videos that seem to show this zigzag or black and white pattern. In fact, a lot of music videos today and older music videos from the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, in the background of the music video, they randomly sometimes show black and white checkerboard patterns, which I found very interesting. But today we're going to talk about a few movies concerning the
Okay.
phenomenon of the zigzag dimension, or the striped pattern dimension, or the black and white pattern dimension, whatever you want to call it. The first movie I want to talk about is
The spooky
called
Beetlejuice
Monkey
dimension.
Bone with Brandon Fraser. And this is I'm going to give you a brief summary of the movie. Life could not be better for cartoonist Stu Miley. He has created a hit
Have I
comic strip
seen this?
featuring Monkey Bone, a petulant rascal with a penchant for wisecracks and racy antics. Stu, happy and in love with his beautiful girlfriend
Maybe I
Julie,
haven't.
is on the verge of big success as his comic strip is about to become a national television show. On the night that Stu is to propose to Julie, he gets struck down in a freak accident. So basically, this guy ends up in a coma, and this trickster spirit, the cartoon he made called Monkey Bones, takes over his body while he's stuck in this bizarre dimension.
Oh.
And the one thing I found interesting
It
about
wasn't
this
that
bizarre
good.
dimension that Brandon Fraser's character was stuck in. So as Brandon Fraser is stuck in this other world and he sees all these bizarre looking creatures, they all appear to be wearing costumes made with black and white striped patterns and zigzags.
Okay.
And Brandon Fraser is also wearing a black and white patterned outfit, and in the background we see black and white patterns and zigzags and stripes. So
But that was
I thought that was
about it.
very interesting because many movies associated with the afterlife or other dimensions, sometimes this black and white type pattern is put in the background for some odd reason. So that's just one movie. Another movie I
Okay.
want to talk about that a friend reminded me of is called Escape Room. And this
I
is
haven't
a
seen
brief
this
summary.
either.
6 strangers, each the sole
I haven't
survivor
seen
of
this one
various
either.
horrific disasters, are invited to test their wits against
Oh
an
wow,
immersive
so many
escape
people
room
here.
in
Welcome to
downtown
the stream,
Chicago.
everybody.
So the reason I wanted
We're
to mention
watching
this
Alpha Talk's YouTube channel because he's a cool guy, and we're gonna watch all
movie
his
is
videos.
because, again, it has to do with
well,
this
not all, but we're gonna watch a
zigzag
chunk of his
dimension, this
videos.
TV static dimension.
That was really confusing because I was told to take the burger meat out, but the burger meat was in the fridge, not the freezer, and I think the instructions should have been a little bit more specific. Okay, let's learn about his sleep paralysis
We're back
demon.
with another episode, and today we're actually going to talk about my experience with sleep
Aw,
paralysis.
thanks,
that
Jaggle.
I actually experienced.
I'm gonna pin that one.
About 2 weeks ago. So the Sunday of last week when I went to sleep, I actually experienced sleep paralysis.
Oh,
and
no.
What's really interesting,
He's doing the thing again where his audio is only coming out of one ear.
it was 2 days after I made the zigzag dimension video. So on Sunday, I was hanging out with a couple friends. We went to go get some food, and then I noticed I started to develop a migraine. Like it felt like there was a lot of pressure on my head, like something was just squeezing my head. I noticed the migraines were just
I just
getting
switched it to mono for
progressively
you guys
worse
so that
and
you
worse
don't have
and
to deal
worse,
with what I'm
which
dealing
made me
with.
very tired and sleepy, and I decided to go to sleep early, which was around 8 p.m. So when I fell asleep, I had a very bizarre dream where I was still in my bed, but I can feel like something invisible is strangling me and preventing me from breathing and talking. And in the dream, I'm lying in bed, completely helpless, trying to breathe, trying to talk. But
Yeah,
I
we've
can't,
all had sleep paralysis.
no matter what I
demons.
do, and I felt
That's
like some kind
common.
of force or something was holding me down. So in the dream, I was in bed. I couldn't move. It was hard for me to breathe, and I couldn't speak either. It's like something was preventing me from speaking. Then finally, later on in that dream, I managed to get myself out of bed. I finally somehow freed myself, and I ran to the closest mirror I can find. And as I'm running towards that mirror, I can feel like something is lashed onto me. Not sure what it is, but it's something invisible that I can't see. But when I go to a mirror and I look in the mirror, I can see this disgusting, ugly looking spirit. So when I got to the mirror, it revealed the invisible entity that was trying to latch onto me. And this entity thing put its hand over my mouth, preventing me from speaking. And I freaked out, and the only thing I could decide to do was just yell out Jesus. And after I yelled out Jesus, that thing disappeared very quickly. When I was making my video about TV static entities or the white noise entities, I was looking at some pictures of depictions of the TV static man or the static entities. And somebody shared a picture on Twitter. And when I saw that picture, it looked exactly like what I saw in my dream. These ugly,
Ooh.
disgusting looking, white noise static looking entities. But yeah, man, my life has been like a Twilight Zone episode the past 2 years.
Oh, see, I don't like
Alright,
this
guys,
picture
that was
either.
it. Thank you for listening. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, or if you have any strange experiences like this one, and we are out.
Yo, wait. Look at this YouTube glitch. So, we're on Alpha Talk's video. Jaggle commented on my latest video. Scroll down. Here's Jaggle's comment, pinned by me. on this video. That's so weird. If we reload, will it still be
guys,
there?
we're back.
Probably not. Interesting. I wonder why that happened. I wonder how the spaghetti code of YouTube works. I don't like these pictures. Take it off mono.
Alright, welcome back, guys. Today we're going to talk about...
And I'm going to put it right back on mono because he didn't fucking fix his goddamn audio. Again. I love that for him.
Upside Down from the show Stranger Things.
I don't love that for my left ear.
Or possibly a real place. And I decided to make this video because the new season of Stranger Things is out. Let me know what you guys think of the new season, but I believe that Stranger Things actually has a little bit of truth to the show. So anyway, we're going to talk about the possibility of the existence of the Upside Down. And before I get started, I'm going to explain to you what the Upside Down is.
I don't like that we never saw this
is an alternate dimension in Stranger Things existing in parallel to the human world. Most, if not all, flora and fauna present in the dimension are linked together in a hive mind controlled by the Mind Flayer, essentially forming an enormous superorganism. A key component of this hive mind was a species of humanoid predators dubbed Demogorgons, which originated from the dimension. On November 6, 1983, during an experiment hosted at Talkz National
I
Laboratory,
watched the first 3 episodes of the new
11
season.
Made interdimensional contact with the Demogorgon and unintentionally, on accident, opened
Maybe
the
after Sid gets home tonight, he and I can watch a couple episodes.
Using its dominion over the Upside Down to invade the town of Hawkins, spreading toxic biological matter, presumably with the goal to eventually invade the entire Earth. However, the plan was stopped when the gate was closed, supposedly severing the dimension's connection to Earth's dimension. So yeah, basically what the Upside Down is, it's another dimension. It's a world that's parallel to ours, and it's not to be confused with a parallel universe from Doctor Strange, but just a world that's parallel to ours. And I believe that the Upside Down is actually a real place, and there's a little bit of truth to the show Stranger Things. Now, for those of you who've been with me for a while, I've done a lot of videos on different dimensions, different worlds, entities, demons, just in general, the existence of an invisible world.
How did you format
a world like the Upside Down actually exists and that it's parallel to our world. Throughout my videos, I talked about a lot of entities, such as the Top Hat Shadow Man. I've talked about TV static entities. I talked about the Jester and Clown entities that people see on DMT and that some schizophrenics see. The past year, God has opened up a lot of doors for me when I started diving deep into these subjects of an invisible world and entities, demons. And one of the first really fascinating interviews I got to do on my channel is with a guy named Exorad Magical on TikTok. Some of you either follow this guy or have seen him on your For You pages on
we've
TikTok.
Definitely looked at his stuff.
He's basically a schizophrenic.
Today.
He uses his artistic talents of animation, art, and drawing to show you what he experiences every day, what he sees and what he hears, the faces, the entities that he sees and hears on a daily basis.
I think are really afraid to deal with something because when you're like, oh, it's just a chemical imbalance. Here's the problem. The chemical imbalance is it has long ears and a face similar to a human, or at least the symmetry of it, and it sticks its tongue out at you and it goes, ha ha, look at you. And it's so disembodied from you, your ego, even yourself at your most smallest point of consciousness on a psychedelic trip. Doesn't matter. It's so clear to you in that moment. Observer, jester. And there's nothing you can do about it when you're seeing it.
It's like its own conscious being. Is that how you experience it? Like, it's not like
a
reflection of your emotion, but what you experience is like it's its own conscious being that appears to have its own agenda. Is that what it kind of feels like? And it was really intriguing getting to talk to him.
How the fuck did you get all of your audio in the left ear channel? Like, how do you do it this consistently? Like, you guys don't have to deal with this because I've modified the audio for you. But I can literally only hear him in my left ear, and this is like the 4th video of his that this has happened on.
I'm actually sitting down with an actual schizophrenic who's experienced schizophrenia for the past 6 years. And I learned a lot from his experiences about what schizophrenics see and hear. And I believe people with schizophrenia are very misunderstood. The thing that I realized about a lot of schizophrenics is they get really frustrated when they try to tell people or try to convince them that the voices and the entities that they see aren't coming from them. They believe that this is like an outside entity, or at least that's how they experience it. But a lot of people, they treat schizophrenics the way the media and movies and Hollywood kind of portray schizophrenics as these crazy people who can't even think straight. However, when I had my interview with Exorad Magical, that was about 2 hours long. He is a very intellectual guy. Like, I'm able to have intellectual conversations even though he's experiencing schizophrenia as we're talking. But he's used to it now because he's had it for 6 years. He's been through hell and back. So schizophrenics are not crazy. They're just simply seeing and hearing things that you and I can't. But they are smart people. They can talk. They can have intellectual conversations.
Gale.
The one thing that frustrates them, and I wish people would give them a chance
seeing and hearing
to let them speak and just hear them out, hear out their story, what they're experiencing. They will tell you that the things they see and the things they hear aren't coming from them, but coming from somewhere else, as if the entities they are experiencing are literally outside entities. He said this
earlier in the stream, but he said that the brain doesn't generate consciousness. The brain is a receiver for consciousness. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Gale isn't, like, secretly throwing lightning bolts at Satan.
Into their minds or their souls or whatever you want to call it, the consciousness. I also got the privilege of doing a podcast with a retired licensed psychotherapist of over 40 years who believes in the existence of demons. And he used to be an atheist, but throughout his experiences over the 40 years, he realized that these voices and these things these people are seeing are not just random hallucinations that the brain is making up because of some chemical imbalance that, by the way, has not been proven yet. That's just a theory. The chemical imbalance theory
treat the entities like they're real, and it
voices and they see
helps with the
entities
schizophrenia.
Has not been officially proven. There's been no test. They never explained what chemicals are imbalanced and by what ratio, so that is a theory. However, according to his experiences, he says that these entities are very real, and that when he started to treat these entities as actual entities instead of random hallucinations, he actually started curing patients, and to this day, he's still helping patients all the time, completely getting rid of these voices
talked about
without the use of drugs. So that interview is also very fascinating. I'll post the link below.
To realize that they're separate entities, they are not who you are.
We're back to stereo audio.
That their intention is different than your intention. And their intention is to destroy you or bring you down. You know, and they're always saying bad things about you and other people. And most of those things.
But it goes to show that an invisible world does exist. You know, if one person is having a hallucination and seeing entities, you can, I guess you can dismiss that. But when it's multiple people having the same exact
entities,
hallucination, quote unquote.
Yeah. That's too.
How can it be possibly random?
I'm trying to
the same type of entities.
I'm trying to not monofy the stereo audio.
Clowns.
I'm just gonna leave it on fucking
random?
mono.
How does the brain have the ability to just create the same type of hallucination? But maybe these entities that they're seeing are not hallucinations. They're very real. They just live in an invisible world that you and I can't see. Now, just like in the show Stranger Things, 11 unintentionally opened up a gateway to the Upside Down, letting some of these creatures out of there. There's also gateways, doorways to these worlds that you can unintentionally open up on accident, which you don't want to.
With a
these
Luigi
gateways
board.
are hardcore drugs like meth, DMT, psychedelics, heroin, cocaine, weed, alcohol abuse. Trauma is also a big gateway. According to my interview with the psychotherapist, he says trauma is one of the first gateways, and then through this trauma, they get you to do hardcore drugs to open up the gateways even more, to allow more entities into your life.
Hashtag
alcohol abuse
true.
is also a big factor, and also messing with witchcraft like astrology, Ouija boards, tarot cards.
Guys, if you ever read your horoscope, you're gonna get possessed by demons, and they're gonna fucking eat you alive. Oh no, I dropped my jerky. No. What a nightmare. Trying to snack before dinner.
Magic, spells, black magic, white magic, just messing with witchcraft in general are all gateways. And just like 11 accidentally opened up a gateway, people who mess with this stuff who know nothing about it also unintentionally accidentally open up gateways to these spirits, to these entities, which when they have access to their lives through these gateways, they will torment you. because they feed off negative emotional energy. They like trauma. And
That's
if they
true.
can make you feel more trauma, it opens up the gateways even more. Because negative energy, fear, anxiety, stress, these are things they feed off of. And what was very interesting when I had my conversation with the psychotherapist, he stated that it's not just the schizophrenics or the people who do drugs that get attacked by these entities. It's people like you and I. And he explained that whenever you
Yeah,
have
it's
an
everybody.
intrusive thought, you know,
They're part of the
such
like
as a thought that
spiritual
tells you to do something
ecosystem.
very negative that you can't seem to control. It just seemingly comes out of nowhere. Like imagine you're driving a car and then some kind of voice or some thought in your head tells you to hurt that person or to go hurt somebody or to do something disgusting or anything that you would never entertain. And when we get these intrusive thoughts, we always kind of like freak out for a second. We're like, why would I even entertain this? Why did this pop into my head? Well, maybe they're not your thoughts, because I believe not all thoughts are ours. And that's the thing about these entities. Sometimes they disguise themselves as your thoughts. And that's what intrusive thoughts are.
I believe
And
it.
the way you can tell what an intrusive thought is number one, it's negative. It's always negative. And number two, it's
Thumbs
hard to
up.
control. Intrusive thoughts are very hard to control because maybe they are not your thoughts to begin with. And how do these entities gain access to everyday people like you and I who don't mess with witchcraft and don't mess with hardcore drugs or abuse alcohol? Well, one of the gateways, like I said, is trauma. It can be anything from stress, anxiety, from fear, from depression. These are all also gateways. Because as humans, we're emotional creatures and we like to feed into fear and anxiety and stress. And that's how our world is literally built. That's how these entities operate in stealth, is they operate through these negative emotions. And just turn on the news and look at how much negative emotion is being bred into society.
This guy, he's on it. He's got a good point.